Hi guys, Paolo Gallis here. You're about to watch a fantastic interview with a true football legend, the one and only Fabio Cannavaro. We talk about his career from his debut with Napoli until the fantastic victory with Italy in 2006, and also talking about the Ballon d'Or that he also won in 2006. But he also opened up about some dark moment of his career when he was thinking in a moment due to an injury to quit with football. And also he talked about his early days when in a youth academy he was dropped from his team and someone told him that he wasn't good enough. Can you believe it? So sit back and enjoy this conversation with Fabio Cannavaro. Sorry guys to interrupt your meal, your chat. We stop a second just to hear a bit of to know more about the career of the legend Fabio Cannavaro. We are gonna through like all his career from the start, the main points, let's say, because you did so much in your career. You could be here for one full night. Before to start, I want to share let's say a very very short story, because a few weeks ago I was in Italy. I was like spending time to my hometown and my father's house, and I was actually relaxing, and I received a call from Peter. And Peter told me, look, there is a possibility maybe Cannavaro is coming to Sydney. So maybe we're going to do a great night. And of course, like I stopped thinking, talking, I stopped everything like in that moment. And I was just staring on my wall of my room where basically, this is my room. Sorry for the mess, like there is a bit of everything, but there Fabio there that in that moment was there in front of me. I said, we are going to talk like in a few weeks. It was just a kind of dream, and now we are living this dream, and thanks to you to be here. Well, I want to start from the very beginning. Like it was 7 March of 93, and you make your Serie A debut in Italy with Napoli, in Juventus Napoli was.
Yes, first of all, thank you to everyone. Thank you for coming. I am so happy to be here in Australia and feel the passion of all of you, all Italian community, because now is 4 days I'm here. We did a lot of dinner, a lot of lounge, and the passion you have is incredible. Congratulations first.
A big applause for Fabio Cannavaro. Where have you been? Like before Sydney, where did you go?
In Melbourne, Adelaide, Sydney.
Did you meet a lot of people?
A lot, and the passion is incredible.
A lot
really.
of hug, kiss, like.
No. The passion was amazing.
People didn't bring you like salami or something. Like
Yeah, salame, yes, salame. Yeah.
something, you know how we are, as we are, let's say. And did you visit something here in Sydney or nothing for the moment?
No, this morning we've been on the beach.
Bondi.
Bondi.
Did you go into the ocean? Did you jump?
No, tomorrow I go with my bike. Tomorrow I try to go around. We will see something.
Do you want to surf?
No.
It's very difficult.
It's difficult.
I tried once and I say it's not for me. Anyway.
Sorry. Yes.
No, like which memory like brings you this picture? What the feeling in that moment?
It's something was something special for me, because I'm from Naples. It's my hometown. I was Napoli supporter. My family lives in front of San Paolo, now Maradona, and I think I'm the only one play outside Maradona Stadium and after inside Maradona Stadium. And as a Napoli supporter, of course, to wear Napoli t-shirt was a dream for me, my family, my friends, and it was a shame because I left the club too early.
Yeah? Do you think?
Was
like 2 years, 3 years maybe in the first.
No, in the first team I was only 4 years, but in the lineup, like titolare, 2 years.
in the first 11. And there is a picture after this one. There is a kind of a prediction of the future because in this picture there is Marcello Lippi.
Yeah.
Was this his first year at Napoli?
It was the first year, and it was nice because
You are there, like actually in the same position and you're now.
yeah, it was a very tough year for us because the financial situation of the club was a disaster. But end of the season, we got the UEFA position, and we did amazing season. And unfortunately for us, Mr. Lippi left for Juventus. Ciro Ferrara left, and is there where the crisis starting to, in the beginning of the crisis.
But when I checked this picture, I saw a bit of prediction of the future because what happened then in 2006, the connection that you have with Mr. Marcello Lippi that actually happened, let's say, kept going even after your career as a coach.
Yes, of course, because as a coach, he gave me opportunity to be enjoying China. It was my first experience as a coach, and was amazing experience not only as a coach but also for my family, for me to improve, to start to learn many things, and Mr. Lippi is my second father. You can say like that.
We can say like that. And I have, let's say, I'm very curious. When did you know that you were about to play versus Juventus that day? Did you know the day before? Or?
No, the same day.
So did you have
the coach was Bianchi.
Ottavio, sì.
Ottavio Bianchi. And we, after lunch, we did the meeting, and I saw my names on the lineup, and I started to feel, oh my God. And now I started to feel so scared, but it's normal. I was.
How did you kick out all this fear?
You know, is only in the locker room. After when you go out, when you start in the game, you forget about everything.
Wow! And do you have the time to say to your family, let's say, what?
Yeah.
How many people were there?
No, because we play in Torino. We play in Torino, but everyone, of course, was in front of the television.
Wow!
Yeah.
The satisfaction for a son of Naples.
Oh, for everyone, because when one Napolitan Scugnizzo come for the first team, of course, is something special for all the city.
Who knows the word Scugnizzo? You know the meaning? Everyone knows the meaning about Scugnizzo? No, I can see some question mark. Okay, Fabio, you can... over there. So Scugnizzo is a little boy, yeah? No,
he's a little boy. The guys play, stay on the street in Naples. The people call Scugnizzi. It's a typical names for the guys around the city.
And I have another word for you, which you are going to explain because only a true person from Naples can explain about Cazzimma.
Cazzimma is.
I can say.
I can explain. Is smart.
More or less.
More or less.
A big round of applause for Fabio Cannavaro. That is also teaching us dialect from Naples, so it's something even more. After Naples, you left for Parma. And I think this one was one of the greatest team that we saw in Europe, like in Italy in the 90s.
Yes.
I mean, Buffon,
yes.
Cannavaro, Thuram, Veron.
Yeah, unfortunately we didn't win the league.
Yeah.
This is for
Who
us.
Who won that year?
Juventus.
As always in that period.
AC Milan with Zaccheroni. But no, this team was unbelievable. Play with this team.
Chiesa, there was Chiesa, which is
the Chiesa, Veron, Crespo, Dino Baggio, Bogosian, Buffon, Thuram, top players.
I mean, the final was 3-0 versus Olympique Marseille.
Olympique Marseille, yeah.
What a night.
No, we destroyed everyone. The time we destroyed everyone. No, but it's true, because we played against AC Milan, we played against Juventus, We destroyed everyone. Also in UEFA Cup, we beat Bordeaux 6-0. We beat Galatasaray 4-0. So this team was incredible team.
And this is your first. This one was your first international trophy.
Yes.
How did you celebrate? Now you can say, like it's already
No.
30 years. Now you can tell.
No,
us.
but this team was as a family. Really was. The relation between us was incredible, and Parma is not Napoli, and when you go there for celebrate is difficult to find someone in the street for celebrate. So we decided to do the private party
That's it. Who was
with
the
the family.
craziest? Yeah, who was the craziest?
Tino Asprilla
That's it. This was the team. Tina Sprilia, of course.
was in the bench.
Yeah, was in the bench. Lilian Thuram. Like, you and Lilian Thuram maybe is one of the best, let's say, couple, central back couple, like in the last 30 years, I think. You were combining in everything.
Yeah, the problem that when you play for Parma, it's not like as you play Manchester United or Juventus. But don't forget, behind us was the Gigi Buffon. And if you think that three of us, we won the World Cup,
Yes.
so it means a lot for this team. But if you see Crespo, Chiesa, the father of Federico,
Yeah.
I think it was better
It's this one.
than
It's better than this one. Yeah, we can say that. And the next one, I'm curious about this guy. The next picture is Malesani. How is as a coach? Because from outside, everyone was thinking that was a crazy one.
That in '98, the people thought maybe this guy was a crazy. But if you're looking at the football now, it was a genius for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, because now if you see Manchester City, the Pep Guardiola asked the players something that he asked us in '98. It's crazy.
Why do you think he didn't have like a big career? Because then I think he stopped. No, he went maybe to
after,
Greece.
yeah, but when you're talking about the future and you didn't play soft football, the people don't trust you.
Mm.
The people don't give it you some
Yeah.
credibility.
They don't think that you are good
yeah.
because you weren't a player, a soccer
Yeah.
player. Ah, yes? Do you
yeah,
think like
I think he
found...
paid that.
Oh, wow.
I think he paid that because for me was a really good coach. He started to introduce, the build-up with the goalkeeper. He started to introduce as a central back to drive the ball in front, to play forward. He gave to me a very good suggestion.
Yeah, advice.
Advice. No,
It was a very good one. Then, for
and I
those...
told him,
Yeah?
I told him last year, I spoke with him, I say, I need to tell you something.
Is he
was
making
so-
wine? He's still making
He's
wine?
making wine.
Yeah, this guy like Malesani, coach, like he had like some very good year, especially with Parma. But then he went to Greece and then in some way disappeared from the soccer environment. And then he went to do like he's opened his own winery. So now he's making wine where? In Verona, maybe?
Yeah, Verona.
Yeah, but
Yes.
he's a very interesting guy.
No.
Next one is the period that you spend, because then after Parma, after 7 years in Parma, yeah?
Yes,
7 years in Parma,
2 years in Milan.
then you went to Milan.
Yeah.
And this one maybe, can we say that maybe is the, let's say, not the lowest, but one of the darkest moments of your career?
Yes, because after 2 months, I got frattura da stress.
Yeah, stress fracture.
Stress fracture.
Easy.
Yeah. And we decided to not stop to play, to carry on as play, and it was a big mistake because with this kind of injury in 3 months, if you stop, maybe you can recover. But I don't know why with the medical staff, with the coach, we decided to carry on to play. And it was a mistake because after 1 year, I lost 75% of my power on the left, and my left,
Wow.
yeah, on my legs. And that time was Mancini was the coach. After the European Cup, I decided to. I said to him, "Listen, boss, I give up. I cannot carry on like that. If you want, in 3 months I will be ready." We did the schedule training for with the fitness coach, and after when I started to feel better, unfortunately they decided to sell me to another team.
See, yeah, because like actually this is surprised me because usually when it's possible to talk, when it's people have a chance and the honor to talk with someone like you, we talk always about what you achieve as a success in your career. But I read another interview that you did in this period. You actually fought to quit with soccer
Yes.
in that period.
Yeah, I was 29 years old, and when you try everything and it's difficult to also to work, and maybe you starting to think maybe I can retire. Maybe it's a good time to retire.
Or maybe not.
Maybe not.
Thanks you didn't do it
Oh,
because
yeah,
after
exactly,
that
yeah.
it's just a success after
Yeah.
after this one. But it's incredible. Like let's say what gave you the let's say the push to not to quit with soccer?
Because I changed the team. I changed that time was
the right
the key.
moment to change.
Was the right moment to keep because I didn't felt more the confidence about around myself
The
and
environment.
yeah, and I think was the right time to leave.
This is a picture, a funny picture, because you see you and Batistuta are a great player. But in this moment, it's like I see this picture and it's like, what are we doing here? Looks like you say to each other, what are we doing here? Well, let's go home.
No,
I don't know. Let's say Batistuta with his shoulder down or something like this. But of course, it's not like this. But thanks to talk about this. Let's say this moment to us.
But it's my career. So during your life, you can have some moment good, some moment bad. It's important you never give up. You always try to improve yourself. Always try to not stop and working hard, because in the end, if you want to achieve something, no one give it to you as a gift. Nothing.
Yeah, thanks to sharing these. A big round of applause for Cannavaro, because after maybe your toughest moments, you change team, you go to Juventus, and you regain your status as one of the best defender in the world, if not the best defender in the world. And after 2 seasons, I think, with the Juventus, 2 or 3 seasons,
2.
we arrived to 2006.
No, the first season Juventus was unbelievable. I played 38 games.
Yeah.
Only with the 3 yellow cards. The people say maybe because I was in Juventus. And
Yeah, I didn't say.
No, I was so happy there, even more because I started to play again with the Lilian, with the Gigi, Alessandro Del Piero, Ciro Ferrara. So I felt again at home, like Parma, and
Yeah.
for me it was really important that.
So in 2006, we arrived maybe in your in the best year of your maybe life, or like for sure soccer career.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because in 2006,
what I see
after
that-
this one, we arrived to this moment. A big clap, please, because like this one was something. Let's say, I know that people already ask you thousands of times, but what was the feeling in this moment? Tell us again, please.
No.
Share with us this moment. Like, what
to
do you
be
have in
honest
your
with
mind?
you, nothing special. I feel something special now.
Yeah?
Yeah. But always when I don't know, I see some picture, some video, all the video, I feel some more excited now. I don't know why. Maybe because I starting to getting old. I don't know. But it's like that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When, during this amazing month, when did you understand that actually the team could go all the way?
The
Until the
semi-final. The semi-final give to us a lot of power. Winning Dortmund against the Germany, they.
What was the feeling inside the stadium?
Wow! Because they never lost one game in this stadium.
Yeah.
Never in the German history. So it was a tough play against them. But fortunately for us, we won. We destroyed them.
I still remember it was the second goal, the one that you anticipate was Podolski.
Yeah.
Cannavaro, and then Del Piero scored.
We not destroyed them. We killed them.
Yeah. He was so good. Yeah, big one, loud, please, loud. He was so good that moment.
Yeah, it was good, but not only for us, but also for all Italian people around the world.
And in
Even
Germany,
more
also.
for the Italian people living in Germany, because they are so tough against us for pizza, mandolino, pasta, story always.
Yeah.
And I still remember after the game, 1,000 people outside our hotel. They were there for crying, for tell something amazing to us.
And when you came
very
back
good memory.
at Circo Massimo was a big.
No, Circo Massimo was unbelievable.
In Rome was incredible.
It was incredible. We spent 6 hours for I don't know 500 meters. I don't know.
It was crazy.
It was
crazy. And what was the moment that you remember the most of everything? Of course, this
Of
one.
course,
This one. But
even more because I don't know if you can see, the table was a plastic table. And I said to them, hey guys, look at them.
yeah, they were holding you.
Yeah, I was afraid. But the nice things that one guys working with us was Mauro Vlahovic, and he said to me, "Alzala con stile,
Yeah, lift with style.
lift with style." So I said to him,
With stile.
With stile, what you mean? But to be honest with you, I think it's one of the best picture for World Cup history. Yeah?
I can see that.
No, but not because it's for us. Not because it's for us, but because it's a very nice picture.
Where were you guys? Here in Australia? Who was here in Australia that day? A lot of you, yeah? Yeah. Did you work that day or no? You didn't go to work? No, yeah? Festa, just party all day. It was so good to be Italian that day. Like everyone.
Always.
As always. But that day, a bit more. Because also we were coming from 2002 in Korea, where everything happened in that World Cup. Not good for us.
Not good for us. But why I say always? Because if we're talking about football history, and we don't need to forget that we did 6 World Cup final, and we won 4. The 2 we lost is only against Brazil. They have 5. So you imagine maybe one World Cup, maybe in the penalty of Baggio was scored. So it means a lot in the football. So for this, I think when we wear the Italian t-shirt, the players need to understand the responsibility they have.
Absolutely. And here is the picture that reminds me the one of Naples, the one that we saw at the beginning. Again, Lippi and you, and what a good connection, let's say. One of the greatest story.
No, I told you, for me, he's like a father. He gave opportunity to me to play in Napoli, because when I did my first game was with Bianchi. After Bianchi, he arrived there, and I didn't play the first 2 games. And after 2 games, he decided to put me again in the lineup. And after this year, he left. And nothing after when he arrived in the national team, I still felt this connection, and nothing. And now when I see him, I see like a father, really.
So you did a reunion a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was great to see the video. I saw when he arrived in the room, everyone was just clapping.
it's nice when you have the opportunity to meet. It's not a lot of time we do that, but always when we are all together, we feel like 20 years ago.
Like, the last penalty was Grosso,
Yeah.
the penalty taker. Like, I mean, with all the national team, Del Piero, Totti, all of these people, like when I saw Grosso, I say, why Grosso?
Why Grosso?
But did you
Mr.
guys feel the same thing?
No.
Oh, you knew it,
We knew that Fabio was is not a nice shooter,
Yeah.
but because he's so quiet, so he doesn't feel the pressure.
No, absolutely.
But Mr. Lippi told us because he was the right guys in the right moment. If you think about the penalty against Australia, was a penalty.
Was a penalty or not?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, yes.
If you think about the semi-final against Germany,
Yeah.
the first goal, and he said, of course, you are the guys for the last minutes, because also the penalty against, penalty score against Germany, he said, you are the guys for the last minutes, so go for the last.
It was actually his moment. And 2 years before, he was playing like in a
Serie B.
Serie B. How good is his story? No, we were laughing with the penalty with Australia because if I remember well, Totti last time he said it wasn't penalty. Yeah, did he say like this? No,
but Francesco is a striker, so sometimes they are
just be
crazy.
And just be careful because if you find some Australian supporter, you can have a fight.
But every time I do some interview with some Australian journalists, they ask me that.
Ecco. A big clap for Cannavaro because now we go in the highest moment, like personal moment, Ballon d'Or. Did you expect this?
No, because as a defender is not usually to win this kind of trophy. For sure, the season with the Juventus and of course the World Cup performance give to me this trophy. Of course, this trophy I need to share with my old teammates, and it's something unique.
Where is the Ballon d'Or?
My house in Napoli.
Yeah. You was sometimes like you sit down on the couch like looking and say, "Wow, I would do that." Like to be honest.
No. I have fortunately I have a lot of trophy there.
Fair enough. This was Real Madrid. Like in Real Madrid, you actually play for the first time in soccer history in a defense of two players. Because the fullbacks were Michel Salgado and Roberto Carlos.
It's crazy.
They never defend.
Play with the Real Madrid as a defender is a very difficult job. Because they just attack. The mentality for Spain, football, Spain is go forward, and they don't care about who is behind me. No one. Okay, I go.
Who was the other central back? Sergio Ramos already?
Sergio Ramos, the first year after 2 months, fortunately for me, Mr. Capello put Sergio Ramos because for the first 3-4 months I was alone because the other central back was Helguera. Even Helguera was one midfielder.
Yeah. So try to find the full Cannavaro in the middle of the field, like with people coming from everywhere. Look, like final questions are more related to. You need to know that here in Australia, a lot of young kids. We have one over there, Mr. Alessandro. There, a lot of them dream to be a soccer player one day, a professional one. And you need to trust me, where a lot of these kids wake up 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning just to go for a private session before to go to school sometime, because they just dreaming about this. And I have a few questions for them. The first one is, what is your advice for this young kid that they dream to be a soccer player one day, but at the moment they are so far because they are young?
No, but the advisor is not for for the young kids, because they need a dream, they need to follow what they trust. The advisor is to the parents.
Ah, good one, this one.
Perché guarda me?
Because your son is not the guy.
What can we say to the parents?
I think right now the people thinking, okay, you go to play football because it's the short way to make money, and most of them they push the kids to play football, but you don't need to push. It's something take time. It's something, even if before he said to me, no, I saw one guy is 12 years old, is really good. He can play in Serie A. No one can tell you that. No one can say something like that. Because during the age between 12 or until 18, can change, your body can change, your mentality can change, your dream can change. And no one can tell you maybe you will be a football player.
What about your experience when you were 14, 15 years old? Because now I'm talking with a legend.
No.
But
I can explain. When after my first season in Napoli Academy, they put me out.
how old were you?
13 years old. So
Wow.
they put me out. And after 1 year, they put me in again. But why? Because they didn't trust me. They didn't say something wow. And the years I was outside, my performance started to be completely different. After when I was in Allievi Nazionali, I started to play last 2 months. Because in the first 6 months, I was outside.
Under 15, under 16, we are talking, allievi.
Yeah. And after we won the league, that time is the last league in the Napoli history for the youth players. And I didn't play a lot of game until the Primavera. And I did one pre-season in Primavera, and Mr. Bianchi called me in the first team. So happened really fast, and no one can tell me, I told you you were so good to achieve the Ballon d'Or.
Yes.
No one can tell me that.
Did you say to the one to kick you out?
No.
But in that moment when you were out, were you still dreaming
Of course.
that you could be a player?
But I knew that I want to do, my dream was to play in Serie A. And I knew that what is my goal? I need to go there, boom. And my mom pushed me for study, and I tried, but the feeling with the culture was amazing. Was so tough.
Wow, a big clap for Cannavaro for these memories, for this sharing. What is the best skill that a central back needs to have in the soccer in this moment?
Another thing, because the difference between the normal players and the top players, the people think is the skill, is the power. No. The difference between the normal players and the top player is the education. This is something the people forget. But for the FIFA statistic, is the most important things to arrive at a high level.
You mean education school?
Education for the school, for the parents, for education.
That is important. This is the first time that I hear something like this.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Because like the more you know, the more you're educated, actually the more you can.
And for that, of course, you need the parents behind you. They give it to you. And and I can say my mom, when I was young, she always pushed me to speak in Italiano, to be, they teach me a lot, she teach me a lot of things, and to be, I don't know, even if I shake the hands of someone, and the small things but make me think a lot. And I can tell you in the end, it's true. It's true because the parents sometimes, they forget about that. But is for the FIFA statistic is the most important thing to be a top player.
Thanks for that. Last question is more about your experience as a person. I have a project where I do interview with people that change their life to do something different, to pursue their dream, to, let's say, chase opportunity or happiness in their life. This project is called Why Not? Because this person say, why not? I'm gonna do that even if it's wrong for the society, let's say, but I'm gonna do it because it's gonna make me happy. In your career, is there a moment that you can call why not? Like a moment that you actually said, I went to this path because I was feeling that more with my belly than my head?
Oh, maybe when I left Inter, because I said to them, listen, now I feel good. You want to sell to someone? I don't understand why. But that time I understood that maybe it's the right time to leave.
It was more for yourself.
Yeah.
That
2002, 2004.
And actually after that your career went just
Yeah.
over the moon. A big round of applause for Cannavaro.
you.
Thanks for this moment.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot for it. Okay.